Good morning. Memorial Day is not about us, who are still living free and prosperous in the greatest country ever conceived by man. The sunshine that warms our face and the cool summer breeze reminds us that we are all still very much alive. Memorial Day is about the empty chair at the reunion, the name and rank etched into a slab of granite. It's the simple headstone visited by family, friends, and comrades who often bring a coin, maybe a shot of whiskey, and always leave with a tear and a sharp salute at the position of attention. Today is about that face that never aged past 19 before falling in the hedgerows of France. That face that never aged past 22 while freezing in a foxhole in Korea or the jungles of Vietnam. It's about the face that never made it to 25 before falling in the streets of Fallujah or the mountains outside of Kandahar. Today is about that face that no longer feels the sun or the breeze, but instead is burned in the memory of their loved ones. Memorial Day is every day for the widow who suddenly finds a soldier or sailor-sized hole in their heart. Memorial Day is every day for the child who will never play catch, never be grounded, never know the joy in their parents' eyes as they graduate high school, get married, have a child of their own. Memorial Day is every day for the brother or the sister who wishes for just one more phone call, one more text message, just one more moment. We gather today to celebrate their service, and their services are as rich in history as the United States itself. In June 1775, Congress authorized the formation of the United States Army. 3 days later, they were locked in a bloody battle in Boston on top of Bunker Hill, and the Army goes rolling along. The Navy was established in 1775 to intercept British supply ships, and the first ship was the 24-gun frigate, the USS Alfred. Now, the Alfred was the very first ship where John Paul Jones raised the grand Union flag. Anchors away, my boy, anchors away. On November 10th, 1775, in Tun Tavern, Philadelphia, the United States Marine Corps was born. Of course, they found the first devil dogs in a bar. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt described the Marines like this: "The Marines I've seen around the world have the cleanest bodies, the filthiest minds, the highest morale, and the lowest morals of any group of animals I've ever seen. God bless the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fi." Originally used to enforce tariffs, the Coast Guard was established in 1790. And they've done amazing work since that doesn't always make the big screen, like Saving Private Ryan or Top Gun. But their unofficial motto tells you everything you need to know about the Coast Guardsmen. You have to go out. You don't have to come back. They stand always ready. Proving its worth in the wild blue yonder, the U.S. Air Force was finally recognized in 1947. And they have gone from flying the blistering rate of 42 miles per hour to over 2 times the speed of sound, while remaining completely undetectable. In 2019, the Space Force earned its designation as an equal service, ensuring security in the newest domain of warfare. Members of the Space Force are called Guardians. This name honors the Air Force Space Command motto from 1983, Guardians of the High Frontier, always above. For 250 years, we have been citizens in this experiment in self-government. This experiment firmly built on the foundation articulated by Thomas Jefferson in our Declaration of Independence, that we are all endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. This experiment stands firmly on the foundation that those rights come from God and that government works for us, not the other way around. In a true American story, Frederick Douglass escaped slavery in 1838. He was a gifted speaker turned abolitionist, suffragist, and was personal friends with President Abraham Lincoln. He believed that a person's rights and liberties are protected by 3 boxes. The ballot box allows us to choose our representatives, to give our consent to be governed by those who make our laws and our nation's standards. The jury box ensures that the accused shall enjoy the right to a fair trial with an impartial jury, and that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. We have the ability to celebrate today because of the 3rd box, the cartridge box, because someone boarded a ship, strapped into a cockpit, humped a radio through the jungle, or drove a Humvee straight to the gates of hell. These brave men and women placed the needs of their country, our country, above their own. They stood on blood-stained ground between us and tyranny and said, "No one's going to hurt you tonight. Not on my watch. Send me." A good friend of mine stood on that blood-stained ground in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Cody was a classic grunt. He loved the life of an infantryman. He loved being filthy, stinky, eating cold chow, and only ever dreaming of a hot shower. He did not die in combat, but only after coming home. At Coney's funeral, I watched his tears stream down his mother's face as she clung to her husband. I watched as a pristine, neatly folded American flag was presented with the condolences of a grateful nation. She held that flag to her chest in the same way you might hold a toddler who was lost, finally found safe. She clutched to that flag because that was her son. Her son who grew up tracking dirt through the house, leaving his sweaty socks on the kitchen table and fighting with his brother, no doubt breaking things along the way. She clung to that flag because that was her son, who went off to play college football, who joined the Army, and who in one Saturday night in college came walking out of the bathroom wearing nothing but a towel, a smile, and a freshly shaved mohawk. He may have had a few adult beverages that night. The details are still a little fuzzy. Her son bloodied the ground south of Baghdad and in the mountains of Afghanistan while fighting Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and the demons that follow all of us home. That flag is Cody. Over the years, the number of stars and stripes may have changed, but it's the same flag that waves over us today. It's the same flag that charged the British at Yorktown when the Redcoats surrendered and we gained our independence. It's the same flag that waved above the deck of the USS Missouri at the end of World War II. It's the same flag worn on the shoulder of every service member still serving in uniform today. And it's the same flag that watches over every grave of our fallen patriots. It's the same flag that flies proudly today over our barbecues and our picnics. And it reminds us that our military asks for nothing except that we live a life worth fighting for, that we live a life worth dying for. And on this day, we honor our fallen brothers and sisters whose faces are no longer warmed by the sun, but whose gravestone flag is moved by that cool summer breeze we still feel on our face. It is said that a soldier dies twice. Once when they take their final breath, and again when their name is spoken for the last time. Their first death was for us. Now it is us who is in charge of the second. As we move on here to cemeteries, picnics, and family gatherings, as we speak their names and tell their story, we can declare with a grateful heart, none of them will die that second death tonight. Not on our watch. Send us. God bless our veterans. God bless you and your families. And God bless the United States. Thank you.